Whispers of the past, the mystery of the old house. In a quiet corner of a sleepy town, there stood an old house, weathered and worn with the weight of years gone by. Its faded paint and creaky floorboards told a story of neglect and abandonment, much like the man who called it home. Nathaniel, an elderly man with a heart heavy from the burden of his past, had lived in this house for as long as he could remember. The memories of his youth, the laughter of his children, and the warmth of his beloved wife had long since faded, leaving only an empty shell of a man who had outlived his own happiness. The house, once filled with life, had slowly decayed alongside Nathaniel's own spirit. The walls held echoes of family dinners and children's laughter, but now they seemed to mock him with their silence. Dusty photographs of his wife, Emily, adorned the walls, their smiles a painful reminder of the love he had lost. He couldn't bear to look at them, so he kept them hidden away in a drawer, much like he had hidden away his emotions. Nathaniel had grown tired of the loneliness that enveloped him, but he couldn't bring himself to leave the house. It was the only connection he had left to the life he once cherished. He often sat in the faded armchair by the window, staring out at the world passing by, a world he no longer felt a part of. His neighbors, concerned for the old man, tried to convince him to move to a retirement home, where he might find some companionship and care. But Nathaniel stubbornly refused. He felt that leaving the old house would mean leaving behind the memories of Emily, the love they had shared, and the life they had built together. As the years passed, Nathaniel's health began to decline, and the house that had once been his sanctuary became a prison. The creaky floors and drafty windows only amplified his solitude. His only companions were the shadows that danced on the walls and the whispers of a life that once was. One cold, winter evening, as the snow gently fell outside, Nathaniel sat by the window, watching the flakes accumulate on the windowsill. He sighed deeply, realizing that the old house had become a burden he could no longer bear. The memories that had once brought him comfort now weighed him down, and he yearned for the release of the unknown. With a heavy heart and tears in his eyes, Nathaniel made the difficult decision to leave the house that had been his home for so many decades. He knew he would be leaving behind the ghosts of his past, but he also hoped that he might find a sliver of happiness in the twilight of his life. As he closed the door to the old house one last time, Nathaniel couldn't help but feel a deep sense of sorrow and regret. The house may have been crumbling, but it was the life he had once lived within those walls that had truly fallen to ruin.